A space object landed on the Florida coast last night. We tracked it down and the officers had something suspicious in this yellow bag. When we got home, a man in a suit was already at our place. This week we saw our first alien. For the past 2 days this van has been driving past my house.
What caused a mysterious blue light to spiral in the sky?
Cell phones snapped, video cameras rolled, and bloggers got busy.
Some feared it could have been a meteor. Others a black hole, and there are even those that thought it could be aliens.
Birds are really important because they know how to fly without wearing a cape. The way it works is you go back to dinosaurs. Birds used to be dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are really scary. So a dinosaur is walking through the forest, and another dinosaur sees it, and it gets scared, and it goes, ah! And it jumps up real high. This happens over and over again until the dinosaurs could jump up so high that they were flying, and they turn into birds. That's how that works. Humans, we're not that scary. You see a human come around the corner in the forest, you just go, ah, it's a little jump. Never going to learn to fly that way. So humans, we started wearing capes, and then all the humans could fly. Everyone was wearing a cape, and everyone could fly. That happens until around 1700s, late 1700s or so. Then you have the French Revolution. They start cutting people's heads off. And people went, oh, if you're going to cut my head off, I'm not going to wear a cape because it would fall off. So fewer and fewer people wearing capes till you get to World War I. Now, nobody's wearing a cape because they had the trench warfare, and if you flew up, they would shoot you. So now nobody's wearing a cape, which is what the Illuminati wants, because if we could fly, we could see the Earth was flat. So now we all have to wear scary masks, so we start jumping better and better.
Yeah, the government trying to bring everybody together definitely doesn't sound right. So what I mean is that they're going to create the idea of a threat greater than us as a means of distraction, as a way of manipulating the public into believing that there is a greater force to be feared than the one that actually controls them. No matter what you believe, they absolutely have the technology capable of mimicking what we would perceive as a UFO and aliens. And they'll use this technology to create a false flag operation of an alien invasion hoax, so that we're distracted by the myriad of problems that evidently divides us as a species. And they'll use this threat of a potentially hostile, otherworldly existence as a means of distraction to cover up their own projects. It's a distraction, and it's a way to instill fear upon the world to make us believe that there is a fear greater than the one that's actually destroying us. And it's exactly in this way that they will instill greater fear within everybody. Not so that we'll unite in harmony, but in fear. And that's what I mean by bringing us together.
I have seen technology that they have that is at least 60 years more advanced than anything you know about. I have seen bugging devices that randomly self-destruct and there's not a trace of them left.
Oh.
What the
I can't video it.
What is that, Travis?
How did you know that?
Holy.
So people are starting to lose their minds finding out that aliens exist, as if we didn't fucking know that this whole time. The reason why it feels so sus that the media is just starting to bring this out now is because they're controlling everything. They're going to control our opinions about it and the way that we feel about it, so that when they decide to actually fake an alien invasion, yes, you heard me correctly, they're going to fake an alien invasion. Because realistically, when you think about it, what would bring humanity closer together better than the threat of an otherworldly existence? I'm definitely not the first person to say this, and I won't be the last, but hopefully if you're seeing this, you're meant to be seeing this, because I don't think that you believe what's going on either. Like, you're not someone who's just gonna believe what they want you to believe, what they tell you to believe. So just be suspicious. Never stop asking questions.
Lil Nas is warning us that if we don't start having our children learn to tie their shoes instead of using Velcro flappy things on their shoes, then we will be conquered by the Plutonians. Okay, it's been 15 years since Pluto had its title of planet stripped away by Neil deGrasse Tyson, but light takes 40 times as long to reach Pluto as it does to get to Earth, so Plutonians take 40 times as long to reach a decision. So they're not there yet, but soon they will decide to launch an invasion of Earth in protest of having their title stripped away because they're angry. So Lil Nas, he did a video where he took a stripper pole straight to hell. In hell, HE double hockey sticks. Hockey, right, where you skate around on ice. And hot water freezes faster than cold water. Hell is very hot, so it's a place with a lot of ice. And where is the most ice? Pluto. It's the farthest planet from from the sun, so it's very cold and there's a lot of ice. And so as a result, the Plutonians will come to Earth, and we won't be able to beat them if we can't ice skate. And you can't ice skate with Velcro flappy.
So I saw someone point out that on Apple Maps, when you switch between 2D and 3D view of Jeffrey Epstein's tennis court, it turns from a temple to a tennis court back and forth. So I took the liberty of watching the show, and in episode 3, about 22 minutes and 36 seconds in, you can see this tennis court in a panoramic view that they're doing of the island. But if you look at the left side of the tennis court, it's glitched. Might be edited in.
Today's conspiracy theory is going to be one of the craziest we've covered so far, and I must warn you, if you have anxiety, please do not watch this. So this theory, we're going to talk about the movie Songbird, which is supposed to come out next year, and it's supposed to talk about COVID-23. So now we're going to talk about predictive programming. The definition is here. You can pause if you want to read it. But it's basically the media psychologically brainwashing us to accept something that's about to happen. And we saw this a lot with 9/11. There were so many cartoons imitating 9/11 before it actually happened. Now I'm going to show you pieces of the trailer which are really realistic.
Tensions rise as we enter the 213th week of lockdown.
A grim new reality emerges.
COVID-23.
Curfew is now in effect. All unauthorized citizens must stay indoors.
And 10 minutes.
All infected Americans are being forced into quarantine camps.
So what if the government is programming us to accept the next few lockdowns? Let me know in the comments. What if I told you that the year might actually be 1724? In the 1990s, several German historians proposed a radical idea that the Middle Ages in fact didn't exist and we are actually living in the 18th century. In 1582, the Pope introduced the Gregorian calendar. Prior to this, most of the world was using the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar had a leap year every 4 years, in which an extra day was added. But since the solar year is technically a little over 365 days, the Julian calendar gains a day every 128 years. To account for this, when the Gregorian calendar was introduced, they should have shifted the date by 13 days. So here we have two possibilities. A pope had done the math wrong, 300 years in between then and now don't actually exist, and large chunks of history have been fabricated. But the phantom time hypothesis points out that it's way more than just a pope making a simple mistake. It points out the lack of records of big events.
What's a conspiracy theory that absolutely blows your mind?
Hang on, I have the perfect one. On March 8th, 2014, Flight 370 from Malaysia mysteriously vanished. Disappeared from every single radar, was just gone without a trace. So, on March 18th, a guy named Ty uploaded a video to Twitter of what seemed to be a voicemail from Flight 370. The code was in the NATO phonetic alphabet, which read, S, danger, SOS, it is dire for you to evacuate, be caution, they are not human, whole bunch of numbers, SOS, danger, SOS. So, naturally, this drew a lot of attention. Twitter was freaking out. Someone found that if you put the numbers from the voicemail into Google Earth, that they were actually coordinates and gave you a location. This location just so happened to be the last known location of Flight 370 from Malaysia. The recording that Ty received was actually the black box recording from Flight 370. After Ty posted the video and drew a bunch of attention, some weird stuff started happening to him. More in part 2.